What is going on, you guys, and welcome back. So yes, it is that time of year again where I put my Premier League predictions forward and what I think is going to happen through the season. And I repeat these words from last year. This is just my opinion. This is why I think Premier League teams are going to finish. It's nothing serious. I said these words last year, ironically enough, and a lot of you still didn't listen to that.
Bruh.
Oh dear, just no. Anyways, so let's get to it. So first of all, the three relegation candidates I think are, first of all, I think 20th is going to be Huddersfield. I don't think they've never really had Premier League experience before. They came through the playoffs. In my opinion, they have got a lot of work to do if they're going to have any chance of surviving. However, I think they lack quality in their side, and therefore I think they're going to go straight down. I think they're going to finish 20th. 19th, I'm going to say Swansea City for this one. The reason I'm doing this is actually because for years now they've sort of been hovering, past 2 seasons they always hover towards a relegation zone for ages. I mean, when we were playing this season, they were in the relegation zone like 17th, 18th, and at the moment it looks like Sigurdsson is going to leave Swansea, and if he does that, I think for sure they're going to go down. You know, this is just my opinion at the end of the day. You know, I'd like it if Swansea were to stay there. It's actually a decent away day to Wales, but you never know. 18th, I'm going to say Burnley. Now, I know a lot of you expect me to say Brighton here because of what they are, but however, I feel like Burnley have just gotten rid of Andre Gray, who was their top goal scorer. I think last year they all got together, Burnley, they were able to survive and pull results together. However, towards the end of the season, they sort of veer off a little bit. And because of that, I think they will get relegated. I don't think they have enough quality. I think Sean Dyche is a great manager, and I think he'll give it a really, really good go. But I think it's going to be really tight out of 17th and 18th, and that's why I'm going to say in 17th, I think Brighton are going to finish there. I think it's going to be so tight. It might even be on goal difference who finishes and who stays and not. They've just made a club record signing deal of Davy Proper, who plays in midfield, and I think he's a genuinely really decent player. He's 25 years old and he has a lot of experience in top flight football. However, if they are able to stick together and how they did last year in the Championship, I honestly do think they'll survive, and I think they'll just do it, but they will survive. And because of that, I think then they'll be able to bring in more players in the next season. In 16th, I'm going to say AFC Bournemouth. I think Eddie Howe is doing a fantastic job there. I think they've got a lot of quality. They've got Jermaine Defoe from Sunderland, obviously. I don't know if Bournemouth fans will be happy finishing 16th. However, I think they've still got a few years in the top flight before anything happens. I definitely think because they're under the management of Eddie Howe as well, I think they're going to stay up. So there is no worry of them going down, in my opinion. In 15th, I'm going to say Watford. As I said before about Burnley, Andre Gray has signed for Watford, and now they've got Andre Gray and they've got Troy Deeney up front. I think they've actually got a really good strike force up there, and I think you can see a lot of goals coming for them. Last season they came 17th, whereas in my opinion I feel like they should have finished a little bit higher. I know last year in my Premier League predictions, the last one, I know I said they'd come 20th. I thought they were going to really underperform. However, they did exceed my expectation. I actually thought they should have finished higher than 17th. 14th, I'm going to say Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace were a really hard one in my opinion because obviously last year they got rid of Alan Pardew after he did a bad job halfway through. Then Sam Allardyce came in. Sam Allardyce got really good results. They beat Chelsea away 2-1. They beat Arsenal at home 3-0. And because of results like that, they're actually able to survive the Premier League. And it was really shocking, really. But I'm curious how this new manager will do under them. I don't know, if he will be able to keep it going. But in my opinion, I think he will get them to stay. I think they will start to gel together. And if he is able to stay and have a decent season, I think Crystal Palace have a lot to offer coming up in the next few years. 13th, I'm going to say West Bromwich Albion. Now, last season they did really well, and again they're another one of those teams like Watford. I felt they should have finished a bit higher up the table. West Brom were in the top 10 for all the season, like 8th, 9th, a bit 7th position. However, they have really bad results on the second half of the season. They dropped down to 10th, just above West Ham United. And I feel like, they're not going to be able to, in my opinion, I don't think Tony Pulis is going to be able to replicate what he did last season into this one. But I could be wrong, you never know. But yeah, so I'm going to say West Bromwich Albion to finish 13th. In 12th, I'm going to say, back from the Championship, Newcastle United. In my opinion, I think Newcastle got a decent squad. I was surprised that they did make a bit of a work out of it in the Championship. I know they actually came first in the Championship. However, it was only the last few games. They won their last few games in order to win the league in the Championship, whereas Brighton were there. And I was a bit surprised about that, really, but they did it, and I honestly think they should be fine, Newcastle. I don't see how Rafa Benitez can put them in any bad situation. I could be wrong. You never know. It could happen again. The Premier League's that mad. They could go down. In 11th, and I was considering putting Stoke a little bit further down the table. However, I wasn't sure with this one, so I put Stoke City in 11th. Now, West Ham United have taken their best player off them, in my opinion, Arnautovic. Now, in my opinion, I think he was a huge part of that side, but they've got players like Shaqiri in that side, and they've got a fantastic goalkeeper like Jack Butler, and they've got Ryan Shawcross. I think players like that will keep them up, and I think they'll be trying to go for a mid-table finish. So yeah, I'm going to say Stoke City to finish around 11th. In 10th, I'm going to say Leicester City. Now this is another one that I found really difficult to predict, because Leicester season could go either way. They could have a fantastic one, or they could just have a horrible one. Earlier, when the transfer market, Riyad Mahrez came out and actually said he wanted to leave Leicester City. I'm going to assume that either one of the big boys coming. I think it was favourite to be Arsenal that were going to come in and try to snatch him. However, they have just signed Iheanacho from Manchester City, so that could be a huge sign. In my opinion, he's going to hit the ground running, and I think they've got within a player like him, they've got 10-15 goals in Iheanacho on its own, and I think he'll be a huge replacement when Riyad Mahrez does actually leave Leicester. In 9th, I'm going to put Southampton. Southampton are, to be fair to them, last season it was all up and down. In the end, they finished 8th, and I think they had a really decent finish. There's a lot to come from them, and I do honestly think that 9th is a fair position to put them. So I'm going to say Southampton 9th. In 8th, I'm putting my boys West Ham United there. Now, I know we have had, at first there was no signs at all. We just signed Zabaleta beginning of the transfer window, then we brought in Joe Hart, then we brought in Arnautovic, and we've just brought in Hernandez. Now, it's interesting really because, in my opinion, there's a lot of quality in West Ham United squad. I think that Hernandez is a good player. I'd be curious to see how Arnautovic does when he starts with us. I'm hoping that he'll be fantastic. I love it. Same with Hernandez. I could see Hernandez getting a lot of goals. I definitely think he'll be our top goal scorer. I also really want to see more of Andre Ayew this season. I think he had he got injured for us, and we didn't really see a lot of him. However, this is a new season, and I reckon if he's fit and he's ready to play, I think we've got a great player there, and he'll meet that £20 million price tag. So I think there's a lot of good things come from West Ham. I definitely think we'll have a better season than last. I think we'll have a better season, a better home record this season than we did last as well. So I think 8th is a fair place to predict where West Ham will come. In 7th, I'm putting Everton. They have signed a bundle of players. Considering that Romelu Lukaku left them, they have not gone quiet. They have signed the likes of Michael Keane, they have signed Wayne Rooney, they have signed David Klaassen, I can't remember how to say it. On the free, they have signed Henry Onyekuru. I just don't judge. I don't know how to say these players' names. They have signed Jordan Pickford, the goalkeeper from They have signed a bundle of players. There is a lot to come from Everton this season, in my opinion, and I think they will be a team to definitely watch out for. And I think they're going to be one of the hardest games, not just for West Ham, but for everyone in the Premier League this season. Now, this was really hard. The top 6 was the hardest bit of this video to predict, so this could go either way. But in 6th, I'm going to put Liverpool. I'm sorry, Liverpool fans, but this is honestly what I think. I think it'll be really tight for 4th spot. I really do. I just think Liverpool are lacking a striker, in my opinion. I just don't think they've quite got enough up front in order to do it. If they had signed Aubameyang, I would have put them straight up there. I would have put them second, third or 4th, but they didn't do that, so I'm going to put them about there. There's also the idea if Coutinho leaves as well to Barcelona, they could come in and snatch Manuel Lanzini for West Ham. However, that's a long shot at the moment. But if Coutinho leaves, I could see it being a really big struggle for Liverpool to try and get to the top 4. However, it's, as I said, this is the hardest bit of the video to make. But in 5th, I'm putting Arsenal. Now, you're probably all looking at me saying, Arsenal have made some great signings. They've signed Lacazette. They've got a striker now. However, they've got a fantastic squad. They've got a great striker up front now, and I think he just needs to get his feet running in the Premier League now. But I think they're going to lack consistency, and therefore I think they're just going to miss out on the top 4. I think it's going to be really tight. However, in my opinion though, it could change a little bit depending who I've put 4th. I think it could go a bit differently. But I think if Sanchez definitely stays, they've got a fantastic chance, because then they'll have Sanchez, Ozil and Lacazette up front, which is a fantastic strike force. The 3 of them, in my opinion, could be unstoppable. However, Sanchez has still got a year left on his contract, and if he, it's a matter of he could see it out. But I reckon there's going to be a lot going on in the next few weeks until the transfer window actually closes. and I think it's going to be a lot going on with him. He's got a huge decision to make. But the only reason I'm going to say don't make top 4 is because during the end of the season, sort of from March to May, they can get really, really inconsistent, and therefore I think they're just going to drop out. In 4th, I'm going to put the champions, Chelsea. Now, I'm not basing this on the Community Shield game for a start. I don't want to say that just because of that game it's going to change the whole season. No. I think that there's a few things to consider here. They've just lost Matic, which I think in my opinion is a huge blow. They're losing Diego Costa as well, which I think is huge as well, which I was actually quite surprised of. But they did actually buy Morata in return. Now, because they got Morata from Real Madrid, he's a great striker, don't get me wrong. I don't want to poke his quality because I think he's a fantastic player. However, the Premier League is a different type of league, and I think Morata is not going to have it so easy. I think it's going to take him time to adapt to the Premier League. I think it's going to take him a whole season. I don't think he's going to be a 20-goal wonder striker first season coming in. I think it's going to take him time to adapt. So therefore, I don't think Chelsea are going to have a worse season like they did 2 seasons ago when they finished 10th. I think they're going to finish top 4, and I think they're just going to get in, just come above Arsenal. In 3rd, I'm putting Tottenham Hotspur. I think the reason I'm putting them 3rd is because they're moving to Wembley, which is a whole different ground. In my opinion, they've got 38 away games this season. Now, I know what it's like to move around. Last season, that was 38 away games practically. And they've just lost Kyle Walker. They've gone to a new ground, and in past meetings it's proved that they struggle in really, really big grounds. So in my opinion, I think it's going to be really, really difficult for them to adapt to Wembley. Even though Kyle Walker's gone, there's the likes of Kieran Trippier who can take that position and do well there. So at the same time, I know it's a bit like they've lost one of their star players, but there's still someone who can take over that position. And also, Tottenham in itself, they've got a great squad. They've got Harry Kane, they've got Dele Alli, they've got Eric Dyer, they've got all these great players. In my opinion, I think 3rd is fair where to put them. In 2nd, I've put Manchester City. Now, this, I like actually, I think this was harder because I had to choose out of Man United and Man City who's going to win the league. But in the end, I chose Man City to go 2nd. The only reason I'm saying that is because I think, don't get me wrong, Man City have made some fantastic signings. They have completely strengthened at the back. Their squad looks ready to go for the title. However, I think Man United, because they have signed players like Lukaku, who's a proven goal scorer, who can definitely get over 20 goals a season. They've got Pogba, who, in my opinion, I think he's going to live up to his price tag. And they've signed a new defender as well. They've got a lot going on. They're also going to try and re-sign Zlatan Ibrahimovic. This is all Man United. And Man City, I think, have got a lot to deal with when it comes to facing Man United. However, don't get me wrong, I do actually think Man City are going to win some trophies this season. I just don't think they're going to win the Premier League title this one yet. Maybe the next one, I don't know. I think in the end of all this though, and I think this is the same with all I think it's the biggest thing with the Premier League, when it comes to the last bit of the season, when it comes to like the last 10-15 games of the season, in my opinion, those games are all up here. It's all mentality, and in my opinion, I think the team that can be the most consistent will be the team to finish the highest. That's the way I see it. That's just my opinion. Anyways, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please drop a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think. Do you agree with where I put teams? I know last year I did actually really terrible. I didn't actually get any of the teams right, so I'm aiming this year to at least get 1 or 2 of them right this year. That's what I want. I want 1 or 2 teams to be right. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you very soon.